I hope this isn't too quiet or too loud. I may have to edit this a lot, but I just thought I'd ramble a little about random stuff like career survival. It used to be a lot different than it is right now. I'm sorry about my voice if I sound like I'm dead. I don't sleep much. Anyway, I was dying of art block a little while ago again, and I was thinking a lot of Prey Survival and the original version, and how different everything was, and everything would be so much different if I didn't add certain characters or change certain things, and it's almost become a completely different story than when it started. Of course, the main elements are still there. The monsters and the certain main characters. Actually, at first I was planning on not making Cry Survival an actual comic. I was planning on making it a visual novel or some sort of game, but making a comic was easier to access, and I wasn't really that good at making visual novels or drawing at the time, so I just made comic skits at first. Oh, and you'll see me drawing in the background an example of what the original version probably would have looked like. As an example, it was a school setting. They were mostly at school, and it was going to be a romance story between Kurenai and Kosuke, so that changed a lot. So the story was set in a school with children who learned to fight the Kurai, and they were divided into groups depending on their abilities. For example, Kurenai and Kosuke and a few others were fighters, so they'd be in the front lines whenever they had to fight. And characters such as Nina were transmitters, so what that means is they'd be monitoring the other dimension from their safe spot and giving backup or anything that was needed, that sort of thing. And there were other roles, but I don't really remember. And there were also teachers who would... It was a lot different. The only teacher I created was a character called Vermilion, and after I changed the setting and everything around, she was removed, but I recently brought her back because she fitted a certain role. Her design wasn't changed very much, but her personality is a lot more mellow now. And from what I can remember, there was a temple nearby that they would sort of worship at. Not exactly worship, but they would create charms there, and there would be sort of gods that would help them, that they thought would help aid them in their fight against the Kurai. Kozuki was also a placeholder name. I intended at first to change it to something else after I got everything going, but I got used to it and stuck to it. That happened often. Kurenai also had a twin sister. I forgot her name. I think it was, actually no, I forgot her name. It was a long time ago. But she had a sister who would be the main villain in the story, but I must have forgot about it or something, and she's gone. Nina actually didn't exist for a while, because Kurenai was originally a tsundere. That's how she started. Anyway, so Nina, when Nina arrived, she sort of took some of Kurenai's different aspects aspects of her personality. So Kurenai became more of a calm character, and Nina is more the fiery aspect of her now. And after that, I think that really changed. Nina was originally called Ninane for some reason. I don't know why. It just was. But Nina and Katsuki used to have each other's names. It was reversed, but I must have forgotten about that as well, and sometimes I would mix their names up, and eventually just settled to Katsuki being Katsuki and Nina being Nina, and I turned Nina to Nina because Nina sounds so much better. Oh, and at some point I decided I wanted a group of rivals, so I drew ideas of characters on a page, and originally I planned for 2 of the characters to be the only important ones of the group, but ironically enough, they were the ones who were removed, and the other 3 were left. The other 3 characters were the first designs of Saffron, Ziggy, and Demon, and as soon as I created Demon, it feels like the story just suddenly shifted. And I think that's when I started changing Kurenai to be a different personality character. So since then, I thought maybe Demon could be Kozuki's main love interest, because she just seemed to fit. And originally she was just going to be a side character, but as soon as I created her, everything shifted. The next few pages, I still have them, but the next few pages were lots of drawings of Demon, her past, her interactions with Kozuki, and even scrapped outfit designs, which I didn't like. And of the 3 characters I made that were supposed to be rivals, Demon is the only one who maintained her original design since the beginning. In this past year, I slowly changed aspects of Ziggy and Saffron until most of their personality and design were completely different. Ziggy was based off a new version of one of my old characters, but even her name changed after a while. And Teo was another character who changed a lot of things. So there are 4 stories in the KS timeline, and he arrived in the 3rd one. So Kurai Survival is the 4th story of the timeline. So he arrived in the 3rd timeline, and he was one of the final main characters to be added. He really tied a lot of things together, especially with Katsuki, because Katsuki her role was a little loose. It was hard to find certain things for her, but after Teo and Nina and Demon, everything really changed, and the story they were added in pretty soon after the beginning, but I could really see a change. Anyway, this is probably getting too long. Maybe I'll ramble later one day in the future. I just wanted to try to do something on my channel that is not trash, I guess. And I had time, so I hope someone enjoyed, and even if you didn't, well, at least I'm not speaking, I guess. Well, I'm going to end this now because before it becomes more weird, and I hope you like the drawing, and goodbye.